My name is Amanda Selby, and I've come to ECAD for the third time, primarily to see the ballet at the Opera House. I am friends with the director from London, his time with the Royal Ballet, Vyacheslav Slamadurov, and as a supporter and friend, I've come last year and again this year. It was like inside me, I just felt the relationship between ballet and Russia, which might have been because my grandparents came from Russia, they were born in Russia, and so I suppose at the back of my mind there was this pull and this interest in my Russian heritage. I think Russian audiences respond differently to the London audience I'm used to. I think in Russia people tend to clap during actual dance sequences, whereas London perhaps we wait until the pause or the dancers have just finished. Although I think this is true of a premiere in London as well. When it's something quite different, the curtain comes down and there's not immediate applause, because I think people are just absorbing it and thinking about what they've seen, and then when the curtain rises again to clap the dancers, then the audience will respond. The Russian style, especially in St. Petersburg, Mariinsky, is particularly pure. I think because of the history of the country, you've really retained the love of that tradition, which comes through in the way they dance and the fluidity. I think over the world perhaps there is the classical style and people honour it, but perhaps it's got slightly diluted because of the way people live, particularly in London, which is such a busy city, and there's so many, even in the Royal Ballet, there are very few British dancers. It's a whole mixture, which is good, and it's a reflection of the city, but you're not going to have that purity of style when there's such a mixture of backgrounds in one particular company. Strangely enough, I find that very few people, with all due respect, have heard of Ekaterinburg. They hear St. Petersburg, Moscow, so I try and say what a lovely city it is, and to me I have a great feeling of spaciousness. Coming from London, which is extremely crowded, I like the width of the roads, the pavements here. I feel I can breathe and I feel more relaxed. I would show friends, if they came to Ekaterinburg, the Opera House, and walking down the main Lenina Street, I would show them I believe it is a palace, but it's also the residence of the president. I would show them standing outside the vista, and there's the view one gets across the river, seeing all the variants of architectural styles, from golden dome churches to the constructivist buildings to the skyscrapers, and all encapsulated in one view panorama. One thing I found very strange when I came the first time to ECAD, I was taken to just outside the city where there's a shrine to the Tsar and his family, and the people working there, serving the teas, coffees, selling tickets, I assumed that they were in typical fancy dress, because we were going back in time, looking at the time of the Tsar, when, not that the shrines were made there, but when they were unfortunately killed. And then I was told by somebody when I came back to ECAD, and I was saying, oh, you know, they're all in fancy dress or national dress. Said no, that's the way they dress, which was the ladies had the long skirts, the handkerchiefs on around their heads, and it's what typifies shawls, the typical Russian peasant, and apparently that is the way they dress normally, so that was rather strange. My Russian vocabulary is getting slightly larger. I'm finding it difficult to put sentences together, but at the moment comprises Привет, как дела, Спасибо, пожалуйста, a few words, яблоко сок. I did make a big blunder when I, instead of asking for kuritsa, I said kritsa. So I was corrected on that. I think kuritsa is chicken and kritsa is a rat. I didn't really want rat salad, but anyway. So gradually I'm building up my vocabulary, and I'm recognizing a few words. I mean, if I see spasibo written, I realize that's what it means. So it's just familiarity.